Start with a new file. This time we'll go with 720 by 1000. We'll make it a little wider, make sure it's in a horizontal format, orientation, 72 resolution, and I'm going to make my background black this time. I'm going to turn off my timeline for right now because I'm going to draw my boxes and I need the space to do that. So I'm going to set myself up a couple different layers, 5 layers total. I'm just going to turn off my background and go to first layer. To begin, we're going to look at the brush tool because we'll be using it to draw out our shapes in this tutorial. So the brush tool sits right here, kind of halfway down. It has a little paintbrush. I'm going to click on it. When I click on it, I get the option panel up here on top for the paintbrush. And you can see if you click on where there's like a little circle, this is where all your brushes live. It looks a little complicating, but it really is not. These are your general brushes in the top. They're categorized by soft and hard. Next are your dry media brushes. These are more like pencils and charcoal. So if you want to create any kind of charcoal drawing or pencil drawing, these are the brushes you would use. Lower down are your wet brushes, which are more like painterly brushes. And the last category is special effects brushes. For our purpose, we're just going to stick with working with either the round or the soft brush. So up here, you can control the size of your brush. If I drag this triangle over to the right, my size is going to become much bigger, like 1400 pixels, which is quite large. And then you can also control the hardness and the softness of your brush. Also, your brush has an opacity measurement to it. So your opacity here is based on your layers, but the brush itself has an opacity option as well. So I have this at 40. I'm going to bring it up to 100 so we can see it. Right now, this is one of the smoother and softer brushes, and I have the hardness pretty low. So this will be quite soft, kind of on the edges. If I drag this across to the hard brush, then you can see it's a much harder kind of look on the edges. There's another way that you can control your brush in terms of size, and it's a more efficient way to work with controlling the size of your brush is working with keyboard commands. Left and right bracket keys are positioned second row from the top on the right on your keyboard. These keys control the size of the brush depending on how much you click on them. So if I want to make my brush smaller, I will click on the left bracket, and you can see that round circle is going to get a little smaller, and my brush will then get smaller. If I want to make it bigger, I'm going to click on the right bracket and my brush will get much bigger. So I'd like you to take some time to experiment and explore with this. You can also work with the opacity if you want, which is up here, but this is very specific to each stroke that you make with your brush. Once you've practiced with your brush, the next step is to create a color scheme. Click here. If you don't have your swatches colors loaded, you can go under Window and select Swatches, and they should come up here. Swatches are pre-loaded colors that Photoshop has put into this color palette, and they can be somewhat convenient. So for now, just in this tutorial, we're going to use one of these swatch palettes. So I would like you to go through one of these and select your colors that you want to work with. You can select a palette. Some are darker, lighter, pastel, brighter colors. So once you determine what you want to work with, say I'm going to work with these pastels, I'm going to come over here, and you can see when I hover over the color, it automatically turns into my eyedropper, and I'm going to select that color. You can see that it shows up in my foreground color. So I'm now going to take my brush and make sure I'm at 100%, and draw a shape. You can draw any shape you want, or you could even draw an image. I don't mind. It's just kind of getting something down. Now I've decided I want this to be a little bigger, my brush, so I'm going to go a little larger. Just going gonna start with this. Okay, next I'm going to draw a box on my second layer. I have filled all 5 layers with the shape using my brush tool in a range of colors. In the next video, we will take this into frame animation with multiple keyframes and multiple layers.